am Shelby Witt, and I am a social work student here at Western Kentucky University. And I am doing this interview to fulfill an assignment for my social work class. And before we start this interview, I'd like to go over confidentiality, where basically if I see that anyone or any person would harm another, any person would harm another person, then I would have to break it. But in this case, the interview is not confidential because my professor will see it, a classmate, and it will possibly be put on YouTube. Does this sound okay to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you have a question that you don't feel like answering, that I ask you, just tell me, and you don't have to answer it.
Okay.
What would you like to be called?
Chelsea.
Okay. In this interview, we'll talk about a small problem that you have and goals for it, and this interview will last about 30 minutes.
Okay. Hopefully.
What is your major and the school you attend?
My major is special education. I'm currently a junior, and I attend Western Kentucky University.
Okay. What made you choose Western Kentucky University?
I know that they have a good education program, and since they have a good education program, that means that they have very good education professors.
Okay. So, what is your major?
Special education.
What made you choose special education?
Well, if there's a need for it, because a lot of college students that major in education, they decide elementary education.
Okay.
So I just wanted to be on the other side of the fence and go the other route.
Okay. So you saw a need and you feel like it needs to be met.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more exactly what hearing impairment is?
Hearing impairments include deafness, hearing impairments, and cochlear implants.
Okay. What are the implants?
The implants are, say if you have a deaf person and they decide that they want to become a hearing person, the doctor will put implants into their ears and hopefully it will work. But it's still under experimentation, so it's not really accepted with the deaf community
Okay.
as a whole.
Okay. When was the first time you decided you wanted to be a teacher?
3rd grade.
3rd grade? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
My teacher that I had at the time, she gave us an assignment. It was a math assignment. And she told us to complete the assignment for homework. Well, she had given us a particular method that she wanted us to solve the problems with.
Yeah.
But I didn't really understand that method. So I went home later that night and I decided that I was going to do some research of my own. And I looked up on the internet and saw another method that I understood better.
Okay.
So I decided that I would use that method as opposed to the method that she taught to the other students.
Okay.
Well, the next day I turned it in and she said that the method that I used was incorrect. So I say that to say that every student does not learn the same. And that's the reason I want to be a teacher.
Okay. Sounds like you have a passion for that, and that's really something you want to do with your life.
Yes.
So, are you involved with any organizations on campus?
I'm involved in CSF, and which which is Christian Student Fellowship, and F, and ASL, which is American Sign Language Organization. CSF is a Christian organization where college students can come together and socialize, interact with each other. It's basically the hangout spot for us.
Okay.
You can do homework here, you can relax, take a nap, eat, study. Also, we have Bible studies and worship services.
Mm-hmm.
We strengthen our faith. We enjoy each other's time.
Sounds like a good organization. Can you tell me a little bit more about ASLO?
It's American Sign Language Organization. We have, I'm an underclassman for the sign language class because I'm a beginner. I'm in my first sign language class currently. And it's basically the organization where we are able to be taught new signs by the upperclassmen, the people that have taken 3 to 4 sign language classes.
Mm-hmm.
And we play games in order to learn new signs. There are a couple of people that are in the ASLO that come to CSF. They've taught me a lot too.
Okay. Do you have a church in Bowling Green that you attend?
I attend Real Life Church.
Okay.
It's a non-denominational church, just like CSF,
Okay.
which is a non-denominational organization. The pastor of it is Brandon. And I really like the service, I like the church. Very nice people. The atmosphere is good too.
Yeah. Do you have a job currently, or have you had a job?
I've had a job in the past. Most of them have to deal with, or have dealt with, children
Okay.
in some type of way. Summer camp counselors, daycare worker, school tutor.
What kind of hobbies or interests do you have?
I read books, watch movies, hang out with friends and family.
What kind of books do you like to read?
I like fiction books, like Harry Potter, The Boxcar Children, which I used to read when I was a child.
Mm-hmm. I used to do this too.
Nancy Drew,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, which is, I also like mysteries.
Yeah. What kind of movies do you like?
I like mystery movies, and I don't really like the scary horror movies. I'm glad Halloween was over,
Mm-hmm.
so that has passed. I like the sappy movies that kind of get me on the cliff of tears, or the suspense movies where one thing happens, but you think another thing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Those are, as long as it keeps my attention, I'm good. I won't fall asleep.
Yeah. Do you like to go to the movie theater and watch the movies, or do you like it to be at home?
I'd rather be at home,
Mm-hmm.
because
Less
then
expensive.
it's less expensive and also I can enjoy it. And if I fall asleep, I won't feel bad.
Yeah, that's good. Could you please describe to me your childhood?
I'm the youngest out of 3 children. I have an older brother and an older sister. And then also on both of my parents' sides, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
I'm the youngest grandchild and the youngest cousin.
Okay.
So they were, growing up, my whole family was very, and still is, very protective of me. I'm very spoiled. I'll be in the same room with one of my family members, and I'll ask them to get me a glass of water from the next room, and they do it. But that's how they love me, because they know that only going to be home for a short period of time because I have to come back here.
Yeah.
I enjoy spending time with them. They're a really big part of my life. We're very close.
That's good. Sounds like you keep family close and it's really important to you. Before this interview, you mentioned an issue that you would like to discuss. Would you like to tell me more about that?
My issue is time management.
Okay.
It's just, right now it's a struggle between balancing all of the homework, classwork, and classes that I have to do with all of the social life that I want to obtain.
Yeah. I think that's a struggle for most college students. It's definitely something that you can set goals for and, mark your progress and definitely be better at. So I think that's a good thing. So how has this changed from high school to college?
Well, in high school, I was involved in FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America, and FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Okay.
And those two really didn't take too much of my time up.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have as much homework to do in high school. Plus, I had my mom waking me up for school,
Telling you to go.
telling me to go, telling me when to do my chores and when to eat. Now, so much that I'm more independent now, and I'm at college, it's changed drastically because I don't have her anymore. I don't have an alarm clock. I do my own laundry. I wake up for class on my own if I'm late, which honestly I never am. But if I were to be late, the professor would just say, "Oh well, you missed it." And whereas high school, they'd be like, "Okay, you have 2 days to complete the assignment."
Yeah.
But now it's different.
Yeah.
And I realized that freshman year. I'm a junior now, so things have definitely changed from year to year.
Yeah. High school and college are definitely different. So you don't really learn time management skills in high school near as much as you do college.
Yes.
Do you like being independent?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do like being independent because now I don't have anyone to boss me around.
Yeah. That's always good. How long has this problem been going on?
I recently realized it last semester, probably towards the middle of the semester, because that's when my motivation for classes started to lessen. So I came in after summer break thinking that I would have a higher level of motivation, but it started out that way, but now that we're towards the end, I have something that they called in high school senioritis, where my motivation is kind of like, I don't want to do anything. All I want to do is sleep in my bed.
Yeah, I definitely, and if the weather's rainy and stuff, it makes it harder.
Yes, it does.
How often is this a problem for you?
Depending on the workload that I have, it usually happens about 2 to 3 times per week.
Okay. So it's definitely something that happens often.
Yes.
How does this problem interfere with your life overall?
Well, I don't get much sleep because I procrastinate as a result of the bad time management skills. I also, because of the time management and procrastination, I don't spend as much time with my family as I would like to.
Yeah. How has this developed over time?
Over time, it has resulted in it's gotten worse over time.
In what ways have you seen it get worse?
Some weeks I'm just like, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
I don't want to write a 10-page paper. And then the next week comes and it's due,
Mhm.
and I have to write it, and I'm up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get a C on it as opposed to getting an A.
Mhm.
If I would have had better time management skills and worked on it piece by piece,
Mhm.
I could have got a better grade.
Yeah. Have you had any trouble since coming to college with just what you've had to overcome to have good or to like what have you since college? What troubles have you had since college that you didn't really have in high school?
One trouble is that the workload
Mhm.
is heavily different because now they don't tell you that an assignment is due.
Mhm.
They give you the syllabus, which is the course calendar on the first day of school,
Mhm.
and they expect you to know it.
Mhm.
If they change it, they might tell you, might not.
Mhm.
You have to check your email often. That's how they communicate.
Yep.
Whereas high school, your teachers were always saying, don't forget to write your paper as due Friday, and they would tell you that every day before you left class.
Mhm.
Now, it's like, you have an assignment to do. They hold you, the professors in college hold you more accountable.
Yeah.
So,
So you definitely don't have the reminders that you have in high school, or, your teacher would be like, oh, this is due, in a week, but they're going to remind you every single day.
Yeah.
And in college, you just don't have that.
yeah.
Professors just expect you to read the syllabus and know, when stuff is due.
Yeah.
So, how have you dealt with time management in the past?
I usually keep a schedule book or an agenda,
Mm-hmm.
but that hasn't worked too well because I usually tend to forget to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a dead issue.
Yeah. So it's just not something that has worked.
It's not effective.
Okay. What things have worked?
I haven't tried anything that I know works because in the past, the schedule book has worked. It's just this semester I have more of a workload because now I'm in the upper level classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I really haven't made the transition from sophomore to junior yet.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do the interview so that I could get some goals.
Okay. Sounds good. Looking into the future, how do you think your life would be like if this issue was resolved?
Well, first off, I would definitely get more sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I would have less stress and I would be less overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's good. Definitely something positive that would happen. I think all college students need more sleep.
Yes.
So it's a good thing. So far we've talked about your major, why you chose Western, a little bit about your childhood. You have identified your issue for me and, what's worked, what hasn't worked, just kind of getting a feel for it. So now I'm going to introduce to you this tool that social workers use called the Action Planning Table. And this breaks everything down into different categories. And the first one right here being the issue that you want to have resolved. Then you have the goal. Then you have the action steps for the goal. And the action steps are basically ways that you can achieve the goal. Positive things that you can do to achieve the goal. Action steps is just a fancy word for that, just kind of a social work.
Benchmarks.
Yeah. So, and then evaluation is the last, and that is basically monitoring your progress to see if what you're doing is effective, if we need to change anything, take away anything, modify, anything like that. And the goals and action steps are meant to be measurable, attainable, positive, and specific. So they have this
We
way.
use that in education too. That's weird.
Yeah. Oh, education and social work overlap too. It's called the MAPS form. It has been found effective, so we use that. So your issue for category 1 is time management.
You write fast.
And then usually a good way to find a goal is to do the opposite of what your issue is. So what do you think a good goal would be?
I can have better time management by applying the action steps.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, and what ways, for category number 2, what steps do you think you can do to achieve your goal of having better time management?
I thought of 3,
Okay,
and then combining all of those. So
okay,
the first one is to mark off things as I do them, as to mark off things on the checklist as I complete them.
okay. That sounds like a good way to monitor, and visually see that you're getting stuff done.
Yes, I feel like it would make me feel more accomplished.
Which will in turn make you feel better about yourself.
Yes.
And that's always good.
Improve my motivation.
Yes.
The second thing is to group the items that need to be completed into categories,
Okay.
such as using for example, using a color system. So I could have 6 colors. Currently I have 5 classes, and then the last one would be leisure time. And after the checklist is made, I could prioritize everything and then do step 1. Well, make the checklist, do step 2, then do step 1, and then just be done. Make the list, prioritize, group things together, and then check off. So it's a 4-step process.
Okay. That sounds like a good way to, have better time management. I think that, visually checking off stuff is always good, and then color coding can really help some students like remember stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. If one class is blue and then another class is red, then they know if they have checked off all the blue things, that's for that class. And it just helps them remember. So that's always good.
Visual learners.
And for the evaluation plan, what are some ways that you think or suggestions that you have that you think would be good to monitor your progress?
Well, going back to grouping, I could group 5 things per day. And there's 5 days in a week, so 5 multiplied by 5 equals 30. Add each day up, and if I get like 25 out of the 30 things done, then I get so much time towards leisure.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. So to summarize, 5 things that you do
Per day.
Per day. And then using like adding up the scores.
And getting the average or the median.
I think a good thing would like to add the reward system in.
Yes, that would be good. The reward system, I was thinking about that. I could once I complete a certain amount of items, I could reward myself with some type of activity, leisure time, or spending time with a CSF. In order to see if my progress has improved, I could do a 3 to 4 week evaluation
Okay.
to see the short-term progress.
Okay.
And we could meet weekly to see how the weekly progress is going, if you're available.
Yes, I will be. I think that is a good strategy to go about. It's always good to check back and to, see what's working, modify anything. But I do feel confident that you can reach this goal.
Yes.
I think it is a very good one and a very useful one to have. So, during this interview, we have gone over your background, school, major, stuff like that. And we have gone over like your childhood, background, family.
Issue. Time management and the maps.
Yeah. And I think that this is all helpful to have.
I think it'll help me a lot.
And do you have anything else you want to add?
No, but don't you have to read something?
Thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting you again soon.
Thank you. I'll complete the survey now.
Okay.
How long is that?